Today we're looking at my fingerstyle arrangement of In My Life, The Long and Winding Road, and Yesterday. So let's start off with a demo and then we'll move into our lesson. If you're enjoying this arrangement, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, then welcome. I'm Lara. I'm a musician, a composer, and a ukulele teacher, and I hope you have fun exploring my channel, my song tutorials, and my arrangements. The tabs for this arrangement are available on my Patreon page, along with my book of tabs that include all of the arrangements that I've shared on my channel. You'll find the link down below in the video description. Next, we're moving into our lesson, and I want to point out that this arrangement is for low G tuning. In our tutorial, we'll cover the time signature, the tempo changes, an easy alternative to playing the chords, and we'll look at measures 1 through 8 step by step to get you started. First, let's take a look at our time signature and our tempo changes. This arrangement is in 4/4 time, meaning every measure consists of 4 beats, or 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the tempo does change throughout the arrangement. We begin at 90 beats per minute with In My Life, and then when we get to the end of measure 21, we slow down to 66 beats per minute with The Long and Winding Road. Then we increase the tempo to 80 beats per minute when we get to Yesterday with measure 34. So as you learn this arrangement, I would recommend that you start off without a metronome. First, focus on learning the notes, and then you can use a metronome at a slower tempo and eventually increase the tempo to what's listed in the arrangement, and if you'd like, you can play along with me. Once you're ready to practice with a metronome, here's an example of how it would sound playing the first 4 measures set at 90 beats per minute. So to get you started with this medley, let's take a look at how to play measures 1 through 8, as well as the rhythm of each measure. Starting with measure 1 at a slow tempo, here's how we count this measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're starting with our index finger on the first fret of the 3rd string, then we're picking the open 1st string, then back to the 3rd string, then we'll place our middle finger down on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, then we have the open 2nd string, and then we're going to place our pinky and ring finger on the 4th fret of strings 2 and 3. This final chord in measure 1 is held through all 4 beats of measure 2, and then measure 3 is played the exact same way as measure 1. Now the final chord in measure 3 is held through the first 3 beats of measure 4. And then we end measure 4 with the open 2nd string, followed by the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, which I like to play with my index finger. So here's how we count measures 3 and 4 at a slow tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we have measure 5, and the count here is 1, 2, 3, 4. When we finished measure 4, we had our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. So to play the first note in measure 5, we're going to use our middle finger to play the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Then we'll lift it up to play the open 1st string, and then we'll place it back down on the 2nd fret, and then we'll move it up to the 4th fret. Now here's the rhythm for measure 6 at a slow tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're starting by picking strings 1 and 2 together, with our pinky on the 7th fret of the 1st string and our middle finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. Then we're going to place our index finger down on the 4th fret of the 1st string, lifting up our pinky. Then we'll move down to the 2nd fret of the 1st string with our index finger, and then the 4th fret using our ring finger. For an easier option to start measure 6, rather than playing strings 1 and 2 together, you can play just the 1st string, 7th fret, and then move down to the 4th fret. Here's the rhythm for measure 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here we're starting with our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, then we'll use our ring finger to pick the 4th fret, we'll lift it up to go back to the 2nd fret, then we'll lift up our index finger to play the open 1st string, and we'll finish using our index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And here's the rhythm for measure 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're starting measure 8 with the open 2nd string, then we're using our ring finger to play the 4th fret of the 1st string, then we'll pick strings 1 and 2 together with the 2nd string being open, and then our final 2 notes in measure 8 are the same as the end of measure 4 as our melody repeats. Now I have one last tip for you on how to make this arrangement even easier to play when it comes to the chords. So as an example, let's look at measure 22 with the long and winding road. We're We're starting this measure on an A minor chord. So we have our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string and our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string to play our melody note. Here we're going to play an arpeggio, or a broken chord, through all 4 strings. And this arpeggio is notated by the squiggly arrow next to the chord. Now for an easier option, you can play only the 1st string, 3rd fret. Then we'll go down to the 2nd fret, then the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, then the open 2nd string, and now we have another chord. Here we have an F chord, and we're going to pick all 4 strings. So here I have my index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string and my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Now once again, if you'd like, you can play only the melody note, which is the open 1st string. You can apply this to all of the chords throughout this arrangement to make it easier to play. The melody note will always be on the string that's closest to the ground. Now some chords have a melody note and some chords are fillers between melody notes, but for those chords as well, you can also play just the string closest to the ground to make for an easier version.